Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You are tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News Radio, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. And it is the number one talk news station in the Inland Empire. And thanks to you, I am the number one 8 a.m. show in the IE. And I am your host, Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah, balancing out all the bad news out there with some good news. Today is no exception, and we're going to start the show off with some on-location footage from the House of Toys benefit concert with Stevie Wonder. I love the man. I'm grateful he actually recognized me, my voice, the last time I saw him. And I brought you a little bit of the concert that just warmed my heart. Enjoy.
I wish that we could take the love that we've shown each other all these years and let the world see this love and get every single human being in this nation and the world to do the same thing.
Yes.
You know, I believe so many things are possible. I do believe. I'm one who believes that the impossible is possible, as long as it's good. I believe that. Just like I believed in when I was a little kid, I always imagined when I heard the radio and this particular broadcaster was doing a show, this DJ, and he was celebrating, Christmas and all the toys and all the gifts his wife and his children got. And we got nothing that year. And I said, wow, if ever I become famous or something happens to me, I want to be able to have a house full of toys. And then I want to be able to give it to all the kids and have a house full of toys. And this is how all that started. So as much as I wasn't even little Stevie Wonder then, I was just, hey Steve. And yet, God blessed me with that. I remember, I tell this story and I always like to tell it because it's amazing how I believe the Most High works. So my mother had gone to all these different faith healers and they believed what they believed, but after the doctor said, maybe you'll get his sight back, maybe not. But they probably knew more than likely I wouldn't in that time. But they wanted to give my mother hope. So she went to faith healers after faith healers and put their hand in her eyes. So one minister said, hey, you can see if you believe. That's okay. So he puts his... And what he was doing, what he felt, okay, spiritually. Anyway, so when he got through, he says, can you see anything? And he put his hand there. I said, yeah. He said, what do you see? I see something in front of my left eye. And he started doing the celebration and all that. It was great. And the other eye, celebration, great. Then they kept moving their hands further back. Can you see now? I said, no. He said, why not? You don't see because you don't believe. I was like 8 years old. I believe. He's talking about I believe. Nappy head kid. What you mean I don't believe? I believe. I love God. You don't love God? What's wrong with you? Later on in life, just going through school, I discovered that every single blind person is able to hear sound because sound is always moving. If you put your hand in front of your face and close your eyes, you can hear your hand, your ears in front of your face. So what I was experiencing was what they call facial radar. And that's what that was. But he didn't know. I didn't know. I should have told him that, but I didn't know. But my mother would cry and cry. I remember that cry all the time. She cried so much. I said, Mom, can you stop crying? You're making my head hurt. I said, maybe God has something for me in life that's even bigger than I can imagine.
Yeah.
And so there I was, hanging out with my friends in Detroit on Breckenridge. You know, hanging out with my boys. We would hang out, we'd go in the alley, talking about each other's mama, you know, doing all that. And there was a family that owned this car shop, the Hines brothers. And the man would come and say, boy, you should not use your voice so much. You got such a beautiful voice. And I start singing,
sorry. Yeah.
Lord,
Thank you.
Yeah. He'd give me some money. Me and my friends would get the money. We'd go right to the store and get some candy. A couple of days later, we do the same thing. But anyway, my point is,
Thank you.
for all that happened, that I was able to do that and go from there to walking across the street with my friends' help to 25th Street, and I met John Glover. John Glover was able to introduce me to Ronnie White. Ronnie White, the late Ronnie White, was one of the Miracles. I met Smokey Robinson. I met Barry Gordy. He said, you can sing. I said, yeah, I can sing even better than Smokey Robinson. I said, I play harmonica too. So I played harmonica, then I sang. I cracked the note, it was horrible, embarrassing. Barry said, we gotta work on that voice, but the harmonica playing is pretty good. But can you imagine me never imagining that I would be at Motown? That's a thing of peace. And the teacher left, and I started playing this melody. I kept playing it so much, he sneaked in the room. He's blind, I'm blind. But he definitely saw that I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. And, Stephen, that's not what you're supposed to be working on, my man. I said, no, I know, but it feels so good. Does it feel so good that you mind getting an E? I said, no, but can I just play a little bit? I played it for him. Then I played it for Hank Cosby at Motown. Late Hank Cosby and the late Sylvia Moore, who wrote the lyric for the song. Actually, the song originally was called Oh My Marsha. But I heard that Marsha was messing around with somebody else. Yeah. You know, 15 years old, thinking I'm in love, right? But I was so in love that I said, you know what? We're gonna change those words to some other name. And so she came up with Marissa Moore. Because I think about this song, I think about the many people that heard the song, that liked the song. And just a moment ago, I was thinking about two very special people. Young and in love, as many were at that time. And the one person actually I'm thinking about is a man who gave me one of my first birthday parties when I was 17 years of age. His name was Clarence Pierpont. As you know, recently the love of his life, his wife for 54 years, was killed. Someone came into their home. It breaks my heart to know that it happened to Jacqueline. It breaks my heart when I hear about it happening to anybody. So tonight, I dedicate this show to you and Jacqueline. To any and everyone who's lost someone very special in their life. From violence. I hope someday that this nation will really get it together and understand that guns and more guns are not the solution. The only key to bringing people together is love and just fairness and being right, and being honest, and quit bullshit.
What an amazing guy. And when we come back, I get to interview two lovely children's book authors, Brenda Faatz and Peter Demarco, when we return on Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And we're back. You are tuned into Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News Radio, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, Audible, and more, because I want the absolute maximum splatter zone so that you can feel better and up-level your happiness. So I have guests and topics to that end. In this wonderful Christmas season, it is a holiday of joy and of kids. And so I would like you to welcome two wonderful guests who are authors of children's books. And I'm going to start with Brenda Faatz. Has an undeniable connection with children. Some say it's because they instinctively know one of their own. A graduate of the University of Northern Colorado with a degree in musical theater, Brenda is a professional singer, dancer, actor, writer, and director. She has penned music, lyrics, and scripts for the original music theater works for children and is the founder and director of the Notable Kids Arts Center in Denver. And she is the author, wordsmith of the It's Just So Lizzie books and the new Now What book featuring Lizzie and Luna. And the other half, I'm not going to say better half because I side with women first. Sorry, Peter. Peter Demarco started his professional doodling career as an editorial cartoonist before turning to commercial art and designing packaging for both the film and music industries. Along the way, he also established himself on the business side of music as the executive producer and creative director on dozens of productions, with two going on to garner Grammy nominations. Currently focusing on children's book publishing, he is the illustrator of Ella McBella in the Dark by Laura Pels and the It's Just So Lizzie book series. Please welcome to my studio, Peter and Brenda. Welcome to the show, Peter and Brenda. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. And so, let's see, what do I want to ask you first? So why do you relate to kids so much? Yeah, they instinctively know that would you say you're still a kid?
Yes, I am. Absolutely. More of a toddler, less of a teenager, I hope.
Yeah, which is good unless you're two, right? No right, terrible right. twos. Right.
Sometimes.
That's great. And Peter, 2 Grammy nominations. That's pretty impressive.
Well, we were a little independent label. We were fortunate to work with Willie Nelson and Roy Clark on 2 different projects. So
that's
we had ringers. They were good.
That sounds great. Now, I usually ask if you had any clue, like, did you set out and say, I'm going to be a children's book writer? And I'll start with Brenda.
No, absolutely no idea this was in the future. It was evolution over the years. Things, you know how everything builds on everything else. You know, one thing that you don't think has any relation to anything else in your future ends up coming back and causing wonderful things to happen.
Yes, yeah. I don't even do vision boards anymore because that to me is limiting. You know, if I say this is what I want, and this show, I just celebrated 600 episodes yesterday.
Woo!
Congrats.
Congratulations.
That's pretty, like, I had no idea I would be doing radio. So I totally get what you're talking about.
Right.
Now, but you do have a background. So what did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be an actress. That's what I wanted to do. And that's what I went to school for. And that's what I did. And I still do occasionally. But now I teach it. I started writing. Peter and I together started writing children's shows and writing the music for those, which you will see there's a lot of rhyme and lyrical movement throughout the books. And that comes from that musical background.
Of course.
And then there was this idea for this book. And then he could draw really well. So we came together and there you go.
Really, I doodled more, I think.
All right. So that's Brenda's story. Now I want to hear Peter's side of it.
It's all her fault. She did tie me in as, all right, she knew that I used to illustrate quite a bit. I did a lot of package design, but I was an editorial cartoonist years ago. She knew I was also very childlike, so that was going to work. That was going to be easy. Brenda came up with this idea called It's Just So. And she knew it belonged in a book, and she was trying to wrap her mind around how to do this. And she came to me for the illustrations on that. And so 2 years later, I'm finally trying to wrap my head around it. And we went back to what Brenda knows best, which is working in lyrics, working in music, and gave it a lyrical feel to the book. And then I developed the character, Lizzie, for that It's Just So book. That turned into a series. And suddenly we find that we're doing this pretty much full time. We're pretty busy at this now.
Well, that's
I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it.
That's great. Well, I can tell. And I do have like a plethora of questions to follow those up. But first, let's go to the book, because I think it's a beautiful, if you have kids, now's the time to go get them and sit them down. And I don't know if I'm springing this on you, but I would love for you to actually read Now What, if that's okay, because it's not that long. And I gave you an extra segment, so we have time. So there was a method behind that little request there. Is that all right with you?
Would be great.
Oh, good. So whoever wants to read, I'm guessing it would be Brenda. Yes.
Brenda, I'm the picture guy. She's the words.
There you go. So without further ado, here is Now What, kids? This is for you.
Okay. And no pictures, right?
Yes, pictures.
Yes, pictures. Hold
yes,
up
we're
pictures.
going to, you know what? I can hold it up and you can read it.
Okay.
You want to do that?
That sounds great.
It'll be a team effort.
Yes. Awesome. Okay. Now What? Written by Brenda Faatz. Actually, it says words by Brenda Faatz and pictures by Peter Trimarco. All right. Let me go to the first page. It says, what does one do on a day such as this? A little bit gray and a little bit ish. Lizzie began with an indoor sport of a bingity, boingity, bouncity sort. Uh-oh. Yikes! Oh my goodness, things are happening. Now what? Music, by gum. I think I'll play some. How about something that's rockin' or jazzy or snazzy, pizzazzy? or straight up fantasy.
That's my favorite word in the book.
Now what? Okay. Wet ball and all, with a leap and a bound, Lizzie went out with her light-hearted hound. A throw and a catch and a hole in the ground to bury a ball, but what is that sound? It's kittens, small kittens, cute kittens I see. They're only $1. They're practically free. Now what? Oh, it isn't so much that it's bad to have critters. It just isn't wise if you get them in litters. Now what do I do with these sweet little kitties? I must find a home for each of these pretties. Lizzie opened for business with kittens to sell. They were fluffy and free, so of course it went well. But not far away there began some loud thumping, and clanking and clunking and bumping and whomping. There were boxes stacked high on a bear, and a bear on a chair. Good golly wow zolly, what's happening there? A little bit nervous with tummy aflutter, Lizzie peeked over some boxes and clutter. What do I see? Are you kidding me? It's a person my size. What a happy surprise. I'm Lizzie. I'm Luna, each said with a smile. I like your sneakers, and I like your style. They talked and unpacked and began to discover how different they were, yet the same as each other. I just love reading. I love to explore. I moved from an island. I walked from next door. Then out of the boxes flew treasures galore, like chalk to draw hopscotch, a game both adore. There were costumes and bubbles and baubles and goggles and spinning tops wobbling with jiggles and joggles. Now what? Lizzie asked, giddy with glee. Grandma's musical box, Luna said. Come and see. Out came maracas and 2 kinds of drums and gourds that were made into 2 kinds of fun. Shake-a-shake, rat-a-tat, clickety-clack. In rhythm they jammed with a slap-a-tap-tap. The boxes, that's it! The perfect spaceship. Using scissors and tape and the doggies' design, 1 box at a time, the ship started to climb. With chalk, paint, and crayons, they fancied it up. But now what? A runaway kitten, and there goes the pup. Now what? Now what? Clearly their space travel plans were cut short, so what was a rocket became a fine fort. They giggled and gabbed as the rain tumbled down, inside and cozy, enjoying the sound. Lizzie told tales from the books she had read. Luna told tales from the books she had read, and Lizzie shared tunes she made up in her head. Drippity drizzle and plippity plop, the soppy rain finally came to a stop. It's blotchy and blurry and smeary and smudgy. Our hopscotch is soup, and our fort is all sludgy. Now what?
Sticky fingers.
Hold on, Luna said. Looky here, Lizzie cried. With wide open wonder, they saw with new eyes. If we add some dots here and a splotch of paint there, paw prints make petals with freckledy flair. And chalk dust was billowing pink-purple hues with paint splashes dappling green-yellow blues. They crafted their world with big, colorful choices, expressing themselves in their own unique voices.
That's my favorite line.
Me too.
Then Lizzie and Luna sat back and reflected on how their whole day was just so unexpected. how thump-wumpy noises brought new friends together, and wet wonky weather made things even better. They walked and they talked as they painted and played, with kitten and pup in their pint-size parade. To answer now what was no longer their quest, for to be in the moment was simply the best. Now is what?
The end.
The end!
Yay! Wait, applause. Can you tell I like affirming?
Yes.
That was so wonderful. And kids, I hope you enjoyed that. Your mom can actually play this over and over on YouTube. So make sure your parents free subscribe on Dr. Marissa's YouTube channel. So we're going to come right back with more questions for the authors and to talk about the need for books like this for our kids here on Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And we're back. You're tuned into Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, NBC Sports Radio, KCAA AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere, including my YouTube channel, where you free subscribe. You'll get an alert weekday mornings at 8 for a new show to drop, as well as enjoy my playlists. I've got red carpet playlists, interviews with people like Halle Berry and John Travolta. Also, my new short film called The PPP Post-Pandemic Possibilities. So make sure you free subscribe and enjoy. And thank you so much again for your support. This is show number 601. So I'm so grateful to all of you for continuing to let me splatter you with more hope and happiness. And today we have some very special guests. If you missed it, we just had a wonderful reading of the book, Now What? And the authors are here in studio with me. Welcome back, Peter and Brenda.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. So, let's see. The lines that stood out to me obviously were unique voice, and then the last one, which is being in the present moment. I'm guessing that those were two themes that you wanted to bring out for the children, because there's a premise behind that. So give me the thoughts of what you want children to know and why you're using this particular medium to do that.
You or me?
I'll take a stab.
Okay.
Although I'm the picture guy, and worth noting, Brenda is definitely the wordsmith, the driver of all of this. We write the stories together, so we look at concepts that'll work, and we work with children every day because we're at the theater, the music theater program that we have in Denver, and it's wonderful. I love the kids, but something we've noticed, like specifically with Now What, is that children are always looking for the next thing to do. They're impatient. They want to get on to the next thing. And we wanted them to really focus on valuing in the moment. And there's actually an image in there you may have seen, and it was by your favorite word, fantasy, where you see Lizzie cranked back playing the trumpet. That is definitely a Miles Davis pose. And it was on purpose, because ringing in my ears some of the time while we were working on the book who was, I'm going to paraphrase this quote the best I can. It's not whether the note you played is good or bad. It's the note that follows that tells you. And that's pretty much what he would do. And this book somewhat does that, in that they go from one thing to the next, and it becomes a book of inventiveness and discovery. And that is how children work, through their imagination. That's how they discover. So that was a big part of the drive behind the story arc itself. Which then I had the easy part. I got the crayons and I went and I played, and Brenda put all those fun words to it. So does it?
Yeah.
So someone answer?
Yes, but the themes that we were talking about, using your own unique voice, and then of course being present in the moment were the two themes, I think, that they were absolute a driving force. We, working with children, it's so important that they are free to be who they are, to feel how they feel, to work through those feelings, to express themselves. And there are so many ways to express yourself. And so that was hugely important to us, to try to bring that across in, of course, a playful manner, because that's how children learn. That's how we all learn best, I think. So yes, that super, super important. And I'm so glad that did come across.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
And then being in the moment, we're always, we are, even children now, we used to be so free, I feel, to experience things. We didn't know we were doing it and we were being in the moment, but that's what we were doing. But as Peter alluded to, the now what, the what's next, there's really no reason to ever be bored, because this moment, whenever it is and whatever's happening, there's so much going on. There's so much possibility. And to be in that moment brings joy and satisfaction and comfort and connectedness.
And it's a well-needed theme, I think, for kids who maybe grew up with parents and in our generation where we're so action oriented. And so when the whole John Kabat-Zinn, all of the mindfulness came, meditation came, we either got it or we didn't get it. Right. So I think our kids took that on, and this is a good way to sort of take that other path. I know my kids, I have a beautiful 20 now, 24 and 22, I can't believe, girls, but young women. But when they were young, they would say, I'm bored. And they only said it once or twice, because my automatic response was, I have some housework for you then. And soon they never said, I'm bored. And I watch parents now, when the kids say, I'm bored, they jump up and try to find something for them to do that will, entertain them. And I'm like, don't do that because it's not your job and you're limiting their ability to be creative.
Right.
Yeah, boredom is a golden moment. That's that moment where the imagination can go nuts. And that's where things start to happen.
Yeah.
The moment of silence is a healthy thing.
Yes. And I think that's, hashtag COVID silver lining.
Yeah.
That parents had no choice but to create space at home for their kids to do different things or think different things. So now it sounds like you don't have kids of your own, but oh, you do. Okay. Because you kept saying our kids at the studio or the kids at the theater. So some of this is from your kids.
Oh, definitely. Yes. Our kids like yours, same age group. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we didn't start working with the youngsters until, several years now, but certainly our kids have been bored.
And now that you've grown older, we have the kids at the center, which are a constant reminder. So we can't get away from it.
Right. Absolutely. And you get to be the kids too. So how did you two meet?
through our kids?
Through our kids, yes. We're a blended family, and we met at the neighborhood pool when the kids were taking swim lessons.
Wonderful.
Start
And
a conversation.
We realized how much we had in common, and then started working together, and then became best of friends.
oh, that's great. How long ago?
We're married 12 years.
Yeah,
about
15 years ago.
Yeah, we met
Years.
15 years
You've got a dozen. You've got a dozen. And when did you start the children's book series?
2016.
Okay.
So
2016.
2016. So 6 years ago.
We started the process of writing that a couple years before that. But
Yeah, that's true. I
That,
hadn't come
that's
up with the
great.
Lizzie character yet, the crazy orange hair. That took a while.
Does it resemble anybody?
No, that's good, I think.
Yeah. Well, you stayed out of trouble for that one too, because if there was some crazy redhead in your life, they may not have. They may not have appreciated that comment. So, what age group is this book best for?
Oh, it's we try to, for all of our books, we try to really make them expansive. So things like you can do a picture walk with a child that's too young to read or even to understand things, and just look at the pictures and process what's going on. Let's talk about this, right? And have that experience that way. And then the language of the book goes up much higher. And of course, the concepts of what we've just discussed go even greater. We've just had a leveling done on this book, and they said second grade is kind of our niche based on our
On the read level.
on the read level.
Yeah.
But we think it's great for everybody, but
Yeah.
kind of a 2 to 3 up until maybe
78.
78,
Yeah.
or 8 or 9, so yeah.
Well, I'm ageless, so I can't give you the top number there. So, but I enjoyed it. So I think it's even good for parents to remind us that we can be more creative and be more in the moment than we actually are. So this is Lizzie Luna. So you started with Lizzie. So you actually have another set of books. So talk to me about those. And then it sounds like you're, expanding now with this new friend.
Yes.
Is that about right?
That is absolutely right. We're going to have a whole neighborhood by the time we're done.
Beautiful. So tell me about your other books.
Well, so we started with It's Just So, which was the original concept that I had 7 years ago or whatever it was, because you will hear children, even adults, say, oh, it's just so, it's just so. But you can also hear it in the context of, oh, it's just so, right? So the concept was a book about perspective, where, we have it with the backdrop of the first day of school. So Lizzie comes in and it's just so scary. Whatever. It's just so whatever you think it is. And then she learns that it's really not. It's just so exciting. Right. So, and we make up words. Oh, if you like fantasy, you've got to read these other books, because the words in there are crazy. That's like one of our signature things, is seriously made up words, scienceational and
Mathemagical.
gigantinormous. Actually, that's kind of
Yeah.
But anyway, tons of words. So it's a fun read. And then we went on to do a book about change. Right. So all of our books have sort of an overarching theme. This book about change talks about change of seasons and nurturing a sapling as Lizzie is waiting to greet her new family member. Mama's pregnant. So, and our third book is about your own creativity and your own. So Lizzie gets a little bit.
She's a little miffed.
Yeah, the children hurt her feelings because she expresses something that they make fun of a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so she kind of goes within, and so it's about believing in yourself and embracing your
imagination.
Your imagination.
And in that case, the imagination turns out to be more real than she thought.
Yeah, there's lots of bunnies in this book. Lots of bunnies.
106 be exact. I drew them all. They were.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. I bet it's, I actually am a huge fan of creativity. Dr. Deepak Chopra says there's 2 emotions that make you sick, literally, physically sick: anger and hostility. And there are 3 emotions that make your cells operate in harmony. And so love, peace, and the third one's creativity.
Wow.
Yeah, instead of joy or,
Right.
something else that you would think it was. So creativity is so important for you. It's good for your health.
Yeah.
So kudos to you on all of that. And it's obvious that you have a lot of fun in the creative process. That's probably one of the reasons why you look happily married too. I'll give some credit to the book, right?
We play a lot, and we bring crayons to the party.
Yeah.
So it's always fun.
Right. So now I'm going to switch gears for a bit, because thanks to the pandemic, I'm also highlighting some possibilities. I always like to go up, #UP, #unlimited possibilities. So I know there are listeners out there who have always wanted to write a book. And then I also know that there are listeners out there who maybe have always wanted to write a children's book. So what's your advice as successful children's book authors for anyone who might be interested in doing this?
Positive advice as children's authors and illustrators.
Okay.
Do it.
Do it. Absolutely. And don't let somebody say you can't. We've come across people who have something sitting on their shelf for 30 years and they pull it off, and we take a look at it because we also run a small publishing company for independents, and surprised to see what's there. And collaborating with other creative people really, really helps. It's not something to be done by yourself. It's something to be done in collaboration, because they help you bring out the ideas, whether it's an illustrator or another writer, whatever it be. And there's a lot of good writing groups, usually in every area. And the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators is one that's huge. It's national, and they have local chapters. But join organizations like that, because and you're not, and don't think of yourself as an imposter because you're trying to do this. Jump in there, because everybody else had to be brave too, and they start sharing ideas, and you start figuring out how to craft your ideas into something fun. So obviously believe in yourself and give it a shot.
Right. And no matter where it goes, you have been through this process. You have given birth to something beautiful that means something to you. And it has expanded you as a person.
Beautiful. Thank you for that encouragement. I think that's really wonderful. It sounds like it's the gospel according to Nike. Just do it.
Yeah.
It's according to Lizzie. She's going to do it anyway. So
she's going to do it anyway.
You can't stop her.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Now, how do we get a hold of your books?
Well, going into the Christmas season, it's going to be hard. I guess Amazon will be the fastest right now.
Okay.
Also, bookshop.org. And I love that organization because they give money back to all the independent retailers around the country. So I'm a big supporter of that. Our books are available there as well. And then, of course, Barnes & Noble. They've been a big supporter. But on short notice going into the holidays, Amazon, Barnes & Noble are going to be your fastest, and bookshop.org online.
Beautiful. Now, do you actually autograph these? Like if somebody bought it from you and wanted an autograph from the...
Sure. And we can also, they can reach out to us and we can send a book plate with an autograph that they can
put on the book. And how do they get a hold of you?
Oh, right. Notable Kids.
It's just so.
Give it
Where's Lizzie's World?
Do this one. Lizzie's World, Lizzie'sWorld.net. I'm sorry, Lizzie'sWorld.com. I got to remember these things. Lizzie'sWorld.com. It's our author page. You can also go through NotableKidsPublishing.com, and you can go to contacts and you can find information there. Reach out to us, and we'll get you a book plate. We'll get you the book itself, whatever you want to do.
Beautiful.
Draw us pictures, kids,
yeah, more important.
and send them to us, and we'll write you back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So kids, in fact, I'm going to put you on the spot. I didn't ask you this. I forgot. But I usually give one book away from my authors. I like that thumbs up. It's called the Asian Oprah Giveaway. You get a book and you get a book. I don't know if you know, I was actually introduced to Oprah as the Asian Oprah. So I didn't make that up. So
weren't you?
Michael Bernard Beckwith, my big brother, founder of Agape International Spiritual Center, she came for a visit because they're friends, and he did a bunch of Super Soul Sundays with her. And so they were walking towards us, and he goes, and this is the one they call the Asian Oprah. And so she looked at me, looked down, looked up, and said, nice pants. And it took everything, Brenda, it took everything for me not to say, do you want them? Like, you want them? So I didn't, though. But anyways, so thank you so much. So the first kid to go to, well, you'll probably have to have your parents, although I think the younger ones maneuver the internet better than we do, I think.
Sure.
But go to drmarissa.life and put code word Lizzie in there, and you will get a book from these wonderful authors. Okay. And I'll send you names and addresses, and or one name and address, and we'll get that off to you. Thank you so much for that donation. I sent Peter and Brenda my children's book. You all know about Mommy What Are Feelings, and they were kind enough to really enjoy the book. And we
really loved it.
Loved it.
Oh,
Absolutely loved it.
thank you. And so Peter and I are going to talk actually about trying to get I did one run edition, sold 500, sold out, and I have not made any physical, although I do sell the downloads. It's part of my nonprofit offering for 8 Ways to Happiness. So yeah, so hey, you just never know. I love having this show because I meet the best, most fun people, and then they become friends and work together, and that's why you're 601.
Love it.
Woohoo! So the last question that I ask all of my guests is, to who or what am I most grateful for? To who or what am I most grateful for? On the count of 3, point to the person you want to have start. 1, 2, 3.
No fair. No fair. We'll talk about this later. Oh, to who or what am I most grateful for? I get that's impossible. I'm grateful for just everything. I'm grateful for being born, being able to be here, being raised the way I was to think outside the box. So that would be my parents, right? My environment I'm grateful for this beautiful man right here who has touched my life so much. It's just, now you can't say anything because that's what you get for letting me go first. I'm just saying.
I sure did.
Beautiful. Thank you, Brenda. And Peter?
Well, that's hard to top, and it's not about topping it. There's our kids too.
Oh, yeah.
My God, we get so much from them because they're guiding the path in so many ways.
Mm-hmm.
You know, telling us it's okay to throw your imagination out there and try things. So I guess they're kids, and
Mm-hmm.
and it's just so right here. I mean, Brenda.
It's just so. That's beautiful. Well, thank you so much for coming on the air with me, coming on camera with me, sharing your Lizzie and now what, and it's just so.
It's so much fun. Thank you.
Good.
God.
You're a rock star. You really are.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing what you do.
Aww. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live from my living room with show number 601, wishing you the happiest of holidays And remember, it's all about balance. And I'm going to ask you to do this with me. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. Yes. Go forth and multiply the goodness that you are. And remember, have the best day ever.